Today, we're jumping right into Ryo Asai's really unsettling novel, In the Megachurch. Now, this isn't your typical horror story with jump scares. No, this is about something much quieter. A very modern kind of horror that deals with the pressure to belong and, maybe even scarier, the incredible power of being told you're absolutely right.
So at the very heart of this story is a community, this megachurch, and on paper, it looks perfect. It's all about respecting diversity, being socially aware, never putting others down. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? And that's exactly what makes it so unnerving. It's so hard to find fault with it at first glance.
So you have to ask, who would actually be drawn to a place like this? And the answer is probably not who you'd think. It's not someone with, extreme or radical ideas. It's someone feeling a very common, very modern kind of emptiness. I mean, think about the main character. They have a decent job, they have friends, family, everything's fine. But it's just fine. They don't have that deep gut feeling of being truly essential to something, of having a place that is 100% theirs. And it's exactly that void that this community is perfectly designed to fill.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. The community's most powerful tool isn't force, it's not coercion, it's the very specific, very gentle, and very affirming language they use. Words become everything. They're both the key that sets you free and the bars that lock you in a cage.
Just listen to these words. Can you imagine how much relief they'd bring? If you're feeling lost or like you're not good enough, hearing something like this, it's like a lifeline. It's this incredibly powerful promise that you'll be accepted, no strings attached.
But of course, there's a catch, and it's a big one. To be saved by these words, you have to accept them as the only truth. Your validation is totally conditional on you buying into their way of seeing things. Other perspectives? Oh, they're not attacked, not at all. They're just gently dismissed as, unenlightened, which just reinforces how right the group is.
Okay, so how does this actually happen? How do they get people to conform? Well, the group doesn't need to brainwash anyone in the traditional sense. What they do is so much more subtle, and honestly, probably a lot more effective.
The novel gives this process a name, optimization. It's not about breaking you down, it's about building you up, but in a very, very specific way. Your own good intentions, your desire to be a better person, are actually used to get your thinking perfectly in line with what the group needs.
And it's this kind of gradual three-step dance. First, you're given a role, something that makes you feel useful, essential. Then, you get praised by everyone for doing it, and that feels amazing, right? So before you even realize it's happening, your own thoughts have naturally started to shift to prioritize whatever's best for the community.
So what happens if you have a moment of doubt? If you question something? Well, you don't get yelled at. No, nothing that obvious. Instead, the whole atmosphere just changes. The topic suddenly shifts. People start telling you they're worried about you. You're just politely and quietly pushed to the edges. It's this social exclusion that is so powerful.
And all of this leads to the story's really chilling climax. And it's not some violent crime or a big dramatic fight. It's a quiet, totally socially acceptable and, from their perspective, perfectly logical choice.
The main character is faced with a huge decision. They have to cast someone out of the group. And not because this person broke a law or did something terrible. No, it's because their very existence threatens the group's perfect unified worldview. It becomes a choice between a real person and the purity of an idea.
And here's the absolute kicker. In making that choice to sacrifice an individual, the protagonist feels completely justified. They feel right. This is the moment their optimization is totally complete. They've bought into the group's logic so fully that in that moment, they feel, finally, completely saved.
The true horror of this story, the reason we're even talking about it, is that this dynamic isn't just trapped in some fictional cult. It's a really powerful mirror that reflects communities and structures we see around us every single day. I mean, just think about it for a second. The rigid sense of correctness you see in online arguments, the demanding corporate cultures that value fitting in over thinking for yourself, political echo chambers where any different opinion is seen as a betrayal. It's everywhere. This is exactly why this book matters so much.
So you see, the book argues that any community, whether it's online or in real life, that offers you easy answers, a really strong sense of your own righteousness, and a clear us versus them, well, that community can become its own kind of megachurch. and it will demand a little piece of your independent thought in exchange for that feeling of belonging.
Which really just leaves us with one last, kind of haunting question to think about. It's something to chew on long after this is over. When you speak, and you're defending what's correct, whose correctness is it? Is it really, truly your own?